Okay, Chloe. um, so I took a social media capstone class, and one of the topics we talked about was relationships in social media. You already have a look on your face.
I know that social media can ruin relationships from my own experience.
Do you mind telling your experience?
Well, in my
And
relationship,
sorry, like specify like the app and
okay,
everything.
in my relationship with my boyfriend, there have been very bad problems because of the way that social media shows things. Like, if a girl liked his tweet or something, I get really upset. Like a girl from his past, maybe that I know.
Okay, now I have to ask you. Is that a social media problem or a you problem?
That was a social. I think it's a social media problem because it's
Why?
not just me. I've heard this from multiple people, and
But what's wrong with another girl just liking a
it's his
picture?
ex liking a video of him lifting on
Okay,
Twitter. I
okay.
don't think that's right. And also him following
What?
like
Were you
Instagram.
mad at him or were you mad at her?
It's not his fault.
Yeah, okay, okay.
I was just
Sorry.
mad. I'm just like if we didn't have social media, it wouldn't. I would have never even known. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So that made me mad. And then also if they follow somebody that you don't want them following, or like a model on Instagram or the influencers and they're following like these half naked girls with
You don't think he looks at that anyways?
well, it's disrespectful to be openly following like girls that are half naked with their butt hanging out and their boobs hanging out. And it's embarrassing too because if somebody could see that he's following those girls, it makes me look like an idiot.
Do you follow any male
No.
models or
If I was
influencers?
single, I would, but I'm not about to hurt somebody like that.
Not just because you don't follow people you admire for their looks at all.
No. And it's like if you were walking down the street with some guy and he whistled at a hot girl, that's the same thing as if you're gonna follow a hot girl just because she's hot and like her pictures.
Okay.
That it's just as disrespectful.
I must say I don't agree, but that's okay. So you think without social media these problems wouldn't exist?
I don't think so. I think actually they might be in different forms, but I think
Yeah.
it would be toned down. Like I said, a different form of liking like a half naked model's picture would be like just whistling at a girl right when I'm next to you.
Mhm.
I think it would happen in different forms, but I think it would also be toned down.
Now, yeah. So had a debate about this, and we talked about like cheating, and if social media didn't exist, people would still cheat on their significant others. But do you think social media has made it easier?
I was just about to say that. Yes, it makes
Yes.
it a lot easier. You could put somebody in your phone as Pizza Hut or as a
Mhm.
boy's name, and you're really texting a female. Snapchat has clearing conversations.
Yep.
You can get rid of anything, but with if you're cheating openly, they can stalk you, or if they're like, why are you coming home late? Like there's reasons, or they could. I mean, or that you come home and you smell like perfume, or there's lipstick on your collar, whatever the old ways of cheating that people found out. But it's just so easy to erase things now, so
Yeah.
that the other person can never find out.
True. So it like starts on social media, then it might become physical, but
But I think that if you're texting another person sexual things or flirty things, and you're hiding it from your partner, that's cheating.
oh, that's cheating. Yeah, I agree.
Or even if you're just texting someone of the opposite gender, who and you're purposely trying to hide it from the person.
Because it might make them mad.
Yeah, like, but if you're just texting someone of the opposite gender and they know, or like you wouldn't care if they knew, then that's not cheating. But if you're purposely hiding it from them, like something's wrong there. Either in the
Now,
relationship or you're just trying to cheat.
yeah. What do you think of dating apps meeting people? Like, okay, say like you're single, obviously, and you're using a dating app to meet somebody.
I wouldn't, just because the kind of person who would be on a dating app, I don't think would be my kind of person. And also, I just think it's very desperate to be on a dating app. Like if you don't just want to go out and have fun and meet somebody in person and fall for them in person, you have to go and like swipe through pictures and swipe left or right.
Yeah.
That sounds a little bit desperate to me.
Yeah, I get that. What if they're an introvert? Well, then that's
Then
somebody you wouldn't want
then
anyway.
they gotta put themselves out. I mean, they're gonna have to meet you at some point if you're just talking online.
So, do you think social media has an effect where it kind of takes away that kind of nervous first time talking to a girl or guy
I don't
experience.
think that's a good thing, because I think people need to have that.
Me too.
Because, I mean, if you're texting online and you're thinking about, as long as you want to think about what you want to say next, there's not going to be any chemistry.
And you'll say the perfect thing every time because you have
Because you have time.
time
And
to
they're not
think.
going to fall for the real you. They're going to fall for the person who had 2 hours to think
The
about what they wanted to
perfect you,
say.
yeah. It's like not organic. I agree.
And I think it can ruin people's chemistry, and I think that you almost need to have that awkward meeting.
Experience to get better.
Because you're just going to keep texting, and nobody's going to ask the other one to hang out because you're just so used to talking without.
Or when you do hang out, it's going to be so different.
Exactly.
Okay. Interesting. So, do you think there's any okay. Let me think about it. Do you think there's any pros for social media when you are, like, dating?
I think the pros are that other people know you're dating. Like, if maybe you like somebody and you're like, you go on his Instagram and you see he has a girl in his bio or he has pictures of her, you're not gonna go after him. And that can,
You should.
yeah, no, you shouldn't.
Right.
That can avoid a lot of conflict.
Yeah.
Um,
Or, like, there was a kid in the debate, he said, like, he met the girl in person, but then when he was going to go to her house for the first time, he, like, found her family on social media first and saw that they were big, like, I don't know, we'll use the Browns fans, for example, wore a jersey over there, and the dad, like, loved him because of that. So
it's fake. It's completely fake. I mean, that dad loves him, but it's false.
that's true. It's based on, like, a false
It's like, I'd rather, if I was a mom, I'd rather have the kid come to my house in a Steelers jersey and I'm a Browns fan and it at least be true than him come over wearing something fake.
Okay.
That's like a fake.
Didn't think of that.
That's fake. I mean.
But it is also good to, like, at least I think it's good to have social media for security issues.
Yes, and it's good that that kid made a first impression, but it's a false first impression.
Yeah. But, like, what I'm saying is, you can almost do a background check of the person before you, like.
Which in today's world you kind of need. You wouldn't need that a while, like years ago.
Yeah.
I get that to a certain point. But then again, you can be whoever you want on the internet. That's another reason I wouldn't use a dating app, because you can be whoever you want. Like, you can edit pictures,
True.
say you like this, say you like that, say you're outgoing when you're not. Like, you can make anything up. You can be whoever you want.
True. For some people, it's a background check if they're, like, pretty true to themselves, but you can't even count on that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
People
true.
edit their pictures too.
Yeah. Not just editing their pictures, but just, like, they could be a drug addict and you wouldn't know from their social media, or an alcoholic, or, like.
It's that meeting in person thing that you can't replace.
Yeah. So have you ever used, well, I don't think you've ever used a dating app, have you? Okay, I did my app presentation, because you had to pick an app and do a presentation on it, on Bumble. So why do you roll your eyes?
I think that Bumble and Tinder are dating apps in quotations, just for the sole purpose of meeting somebody for sex. And then saying, see ya.
Yeah.
And I also think that that's a reason why STDs are growing, is because people do not care who they do things with. They just want to feel validated.
Yeah, social media is big on, like, validation, like how many likes you get, comments, who swipes right. But, so Bumble's different than Tinder because, the girl responds first.
No, I don't know how that works.
Oh, really? Okay, so only the girl can respond first, and if she doesn't respond within 24 hours, the match is gone forever unless you have, like, a premium subscription.
No, do you hear what you just said?
What?
It's true love, but only if you have a premium subscription.
No, I didn't say it was true love.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can find true love on this dating app, but you need the premium subscription.
But
she has to answer within 24 hours. Like, it's
yeah.
It sounds so dumb.
And, but it's different from Tinder because you put, like, 6 pictures. You could link all your social media, which you can do on Tinder, but then there's more options for, like, political affiliation, religion,
and people forget that these dating apps are just trying to make money. I mean, I go on TikTok and I see ads for Bumble, and it's like one of my favorite pickup lines to use on Bumble, but it's like sponsored by Bumble. It's like, these people do not care if you end up with who you like or not, or if you're just meeting
Mhm.
somebody to have sex. They just want to make money.
Yeah.
They they can advertise it any other way they
It is
want.
basically just like a social media platform, except you're swiping on who you like and who you don't like. And
Exactly.
But do you think that's a way to meet somebody you would never run into in the first place?
I think there's some ground to that argument, but at the same time, I mean, how rare is that? Like, I
It's
feel like if you're
probably
supposed
so
to meet
rare.
somebody, you'll meet them. You don't need to go. You don't need to go on your phone and, you know, look at 6 pictures and decide if you're going to spend the rest of your life with them or not.
True. I'm sure it is rare. Because as you know, I've used one and that didn't exactly like... It wasn't a bad experience, but it didn't work out.
It's just a form of desperation for me. I mean, if you're
Yeah,
you
I think
need
I
to
was
be-
desperate.
if you need to have somebody that bad, like you can't be independent and single, that you need to be like, okay, it's come to this. Like,
Mind you, I was like a freshman in high school.
Well, I mean that's different, but I'm just saying
It is
if it
different,
comes to
but
the
yeah.
point where you're like, oh my god, I just can't wait until I meet somebody on my own time. I need to force this right now.
Okay, so what about older people though, like
Older
using
people-
Match and stuff like that
I feel
instead of
like-
like a dating app, which is solely basically
Now,
for
if
kids.
you're older and divorced and you just don't get out much, I can understand it.
Mhm.
And Match is also different. I just feel like they're more mature than teenagers who are just. Oh,
So
I
they
just want sex and I just.
Right, so they might get
Don't
the
wanna be alone.
background of the person real quick and then meet
Mhm.
sooner than later. And they would know not to
Yeah.
like do stuff the first time.
Plus,
I
I
guess.
also feel like older people are seeking less validation than younger people.
That's very true.
Because
That's
I
very
mean, they're
true.
just like, oh my god, if this person swipes right and then we end up having sex, and like, I bet I'm just such a catch, and then they go to bed like crying that night. Like, it doesn't. I feel like older people know better than that.
Yeah, they don't need validation. Like they've made it this far.
Because they didn't grow up with social media.
Yeah,
You know,
that's huge.
where
They
it's just
already
like,
have
I
been
am who I
through
am.
that talking to a girl for the first
Mhm.
time, anxiety.
Because back then, I mean, it was like they had all the pressure. The guy had to go up
Yeah.
to the girl in person, make conversation, meet her parents the first date.
Yeah.
There was a lot.
Have the car and plan
pick
the
her up,
date.
go to the door, get her flowers, pay for the meal, have her home by a certain time, and now it's just like, yo, what up, girl? You trying to meet up?
Yeah.
It's totally different. Older people are used.
Chivalry.
Older
how do
people
you-
are used to that shy, like, that's
I know. I don't know what the word is.
chivalry, whatever.
I know.
It's
I
a hard
can't.
word.
It's
They're
not
more used
lost,
to it.
but it's yeah. I agree.
However you pronounce it, it's dead.
It's not dead.
No, but it's less common. That's
It
why I'm
is
saying
less
it's okay
common.
for older people to use a dating app because they still know, they still have those values. They weren't raised on,
Mm-hmm.
can I get your snap?
Yeah,
Texting the word here or
Snapchat.
honking when you're like,
Snapchat, you don't even have to do a default setting. Everything just pretty much just disappears unless you
Mhm.
save it. So,
so that helps with cheating.
yeah. So, do you have any final thoughts on this?
Any more questions for me?
No, I mean, not that I could think of. I mean, you really covered it, but maybe you have any last final things on your mind.
I don't want to sit here and bash social media like I have been,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I think there's a reason that depression rates are higher now, why STD rates are higher now. I think social media plays a big part in it.
I think validation.
Validation and
social
also
media.
fear of missing out. You see people looking like they're having a great time.
FOMO.
Yes, and you're just like, oh my god, I wish that was me, when in reality they're like not even having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't want to sit here and bash it because I know it's done a lot of good things, like, tracking people when they're lost or whatever.
But relationship.
Relationship wise, I think a relationship would be better without it, and I think that's why relationships used to thrive, whereas,
Okay, wait a
divorce
second
rates are
though. Right
higher.
now, you're in a relationship with like social media. You guys
Mhm.
post each other and stuff.
yeah, and sometimes I wonder if I'm posting him, sometimes I just wonder why I'm posting him. I'm like, I could just take this picture and save it to my camera roll. Why do I need everybody else to see it?
Because you said that it's good to see if somebody else is
Right,
in a
but people
relationship.
know we're dating now. We've been together 2 years.
Okay.
So now I'm thinking, why am I doing this?
To show
I'm not
him
gonna
off.
stop.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stop, but I do ask myself why I'm doing it.
It's to show him off.
I think so. I think it's to show him off, but also, I don't know. It could be insecurities. You know.
Oh yeah, it's. I
Like
mean,
I'm
I
showing
think
off.
it
Look
is.
what I have. Look what I have. Look
That's
how great I am.
yeah. That's everybody on social media then,
Hmm.
and that's not always a bad thing. If you're secure enough to like be okay if a picture doesn't get enough likes.
But then there's also the couples who post each other every day, and that's how you know they're very insecure about their relationship. If I see a couple who post each other like once every month, and then like they're very private,
Mm-hmm.
I bet that they're happier than the people who are posting like pictures of each other every day with paragraphs.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.